So welcome all of you to the Values for Life series, episode 106 on being unlimited. And as always, before we begin, we'll spend a moment in silence and invoke the presence of the Supreme Being. So welcome all of you once again. Stop sharing the screen. And first of all, a very happy new year to all of you, because we are meeting for the first time in 2025. And this year will bring us amazing new things. And as always, at the Brahma Kumaris, we really adore this month of January, because it is the month where our founding father, Brahma Baba, whom we lovingly call just Baba, so he sort of left his mortal coil on 18th of Jan. And in that, we celebrate this month as what is called the Awaken month. Basically, it means something to intensify our spiritual effort and take us away from this gross consciousness of being the body into the subtle consciousness of being the soul. And we are almost through with the series. It's been almost 105 episodes now, and we are nearing our end by mid-Feb. And this month, we really choose those values which help us to go into the subtleties of the soul consciousness. So nothing like the value which we have chosen today, being unlimited, which means really we have to go beyond the limits of being this body. That's one. And there are many more. I'm sure our speakers will elaborate a lot on what is being unlimited truly. So we really thank all our three speakers. I'll start with Brother Eric first. We have Sister Jenna as well, and our very dear Sister Bhumika, who's debuting this. Rather, she's with us for the first time on the Zoom workshop. So welcome all three of you. And I know all of you know a lot about Brother Eric and Sister Jenna as well, but it's my duty to introduce a little bit about them as well. So Brother Eric, now we know he basically serves as the national coordinator for the country of Canada. And he's retired now as we speak, but more than 35, 40 years he's been with the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. And he was basically a journalist and a producer, and conducted a lot of television news and current affairs programs within the French services. And as we speak, he also serves in Montreal. He's opened various meditation centers in few parts of Canada, that is Edmonton and Calgary, before returning to Montreal finally, where he's established this meditation center called La Emergence. I'm sorry, my French is not good. And he serves there. And as I said, he's basically there as a national coordinator. So welcome, Brother Eric. Thank you so much. And we'll move on to Sister Jenna. Well, what to say about Sister Jenna? She's Sister Dr. Jenna, because she's basically awarded this doctor title, and she basically is the founder and director of the famous Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museum, which is located in the metropolitan Washington, D.C. area. And she's also the host of the popular show, which I'm sure many of you listen to it regularly, America Meditating Radio Show. And also she's the recipient of the very prestigious President's Lifetime National Community Service Award. And also she was listed in one of the A Billion Women 2020 as one of the 100 most influential leaders of 2015. And so welcome, Sister Jenna. And what should I tell about Sister Bhumika? It's very difficult because she's not sent me a biodata, and she's so humble enough. You know, the name Bhumika itself in Hindi, it means role in English. So she's playing this role as a spiritual, I must say, ambassador. She's into knowledge since 1997. It's quite a few years. And she's very humbly written in her bio only one line that since 2003, she's been staying with Moini Didi, who is basically the regional coordinator of all the Americas. But now also she's the additional administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris. So welcome to you as well, Sister Bhumika. Thank you for joining. And as always, before we go on to the official welcoming with flowers by Sister Claudia, let's look at this value and our speakers, esteemed speakers. So the poem on being unlimited is as follows. Brother Eric is a soul who's indeed extensively visited, while Sister Jenna is the instrument for Washington who's the best fitted. And Sister Bhumika is the Supreme's chosen one and hunted. By the Supreme, she's specially hunted. And all of them today shall discuss on how to be unlimited. Because in today's world, where souls by Maya feel haunted and humanity bleeds with trauma being tolerated, the Supreme comes with immense blessings which are credited, and sorrow, pain, and suffering thereby get debited. So finally, with the Supreme's help, we now don't feel weak and inhibited, taking away from us the fear of being lost and prohibited. And the Supreme wants us as showpieces in his museum to be exhibited so that we can stand united for our purpose and indeed feel committed. So thank you to all the souls. And I would now request Sister Claudia to please proceed with the flowers. Thank you. Over to you.
Happy New Year to all of you. I think that's the best way to start the year is to have those three unlimited speakers to talk to us. So I think they are going to really show us how to become unlimited in every way, in the words, in the actions, in the thoughts, everything to be unlimited. I'm really looking forward to see what more we are going to learn from them. So I like to offer you a bouquet of flowers, and since there are three unlimited, I put three different colors of flowers. So each one is a different flowers in that bouquet that we offer today. So it's going to be just a pleasure to hear all of you, and a pleasure, not only a pleasure, also lots of learning from all three. Thank you for being with us this day. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Sister Claudia. And after a hiatus of a few months, I would also request to be highlighted Dr. Ashok Mehta, because he's hale and hearty back with us again. So if you can just spotlight him as well, Sister Anu. And welcome, Dr. Mehta. And we have a few more episodes till February, and I'm sure you'll be there with us for that. And a few quick housekeeping instructions. We'll be having the conversation for almost an hour, 55 minutes. Please start rolling in your questions to me in the chat box related to the value of being unlimited. And then after that, we'll have the closing meditation. So we'll be totally having a 1.5 hour session as always. So thank you so much, and over to all of you.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Mehta was here with video on. Right now he's not, but he's with us. Very happy to welcome Dr. Mehta after you. And yeah,
Sure.
over to all.
Thank you. So over to all of you. Thank you.
Well, firstly, to everyone out there, a very warm, delightful, beneficial, important, and most valuable new year for 2025. And I'm looking forward to sitting with my friends and with all of you to just see how we can understand the power of a life that is unlimited. But I have to say, I just don't know how Dr. Manoj finds those words in his poetry. Manoj, brother, you are amazing. I think you might have missed your calling. Instead of a physician, you should have just been a consummate poet. It was just fantastic, fantastic. So hi, Eric. Hi, Sister Bhumika. So nice to see all of you. Happy New Year.
Hello.
What a time that we're in nowadays, huh? So, Eric, we are talking about being unlimited. Wow. where do we begin in the times that we're in now to be able to even understand the depths of that one word or value? How to be unlimited. Where would you start with that? Both of you, where would you start with
I can
defining what it
start.
means?
I can start, Jenaben, by saying I would start by just looking at both of you. And I know both of you, and I wish everyone listening at the moment could just download what I have all in my mind about you, because I won't be able to express it all. But I know you're both unlimited in your own ways. And I've been very, very closely watching our dear sister Bhumi here. And very few people know, I think, or imagine what she's doing. And yes, she may not have biodata like mine professionally, with CBC, but what she's doing, I think is probably worth 10 times my own achievement in what I'm doing in my own way. And I know what you're doing, Jenaben, with so many different ways of connecting. So when I saw the topic, I didn't know it would be also in the new year. I forgot it was connected to the new year. And one of the message we received for the new year to all the centers across the world was about becoming unlimited this year and seeing things, with a bigger sight, thinking big, having the courage to return to some of the great ideas we used to have many years ago, but that we left aside by being a little bit comfortable in our less limited zone. So I think watching both of you and what you're doing make me wonder if I am unlimited, because you both are. And just to give everyone who listen an idea, for Sister Bhumi to be next to our dear Mohini Didi, which is almost now asked to run the Brahma Kumaris with, of course, a team and other main seniors. But for the last many years, Mohini Didi has been an incredible spiritual resource for all the centers in Americas, but also for the world. And I'm one of the clients, if you want, calling Bhumika regularly. I need Mohini Didi. I need this. Can you please? Can you please? Can you please? And I'm thinking, this is just me in Montreal. How many emails, Bhumiji, do you receive per day or request? And it must be a puzzle. So many might want to have Sister Mohini the same day, the same time. Bhumi has to handle anything from I lost my handkerchief, where is my handkerchief, Bhumiji, to okay, the Brahma Kumaris have to go into the UN and do a big program. What do we do? So she's handling things that are crazy. And the diversity of Bhumika's items, I really, really feel extremely impressed by how you're handling it. I've never seen Sister Bhumi being, rude to me or impatient. She sometimes, you can tell that she has 20,000 things in her head, but she handles it, as far as I see it, with a lot of grace, a lot of gentleness. She still looks so young after all these years. I know her for more than 20 years. She hasn't taken a single white hair. That I don't see any anyway, not so far. So to me, I start right here on the screen. I see Unlimited here, and I see Unlimited you, Sister Jenna. Because when I see what you do in your own way, very humble as well, but the way you connect with so many personalities around the world, the way you articulate this philosophy, which is complex, challenging for people, and the grace, the elegance, the sharpness of your programs always amazes me. And I think your Unlimited is about seeing the potential of every soul to be unlimited. And I've seen you talking to celebrities, to regular members of the Brahma Kumaris, and I think you always honor in each one of us the greatness of the soul. I've always felt that you have that form of love, which is not like I love you, I hug you, but it's I love you because I recognize the greatness in you. So I can talk for an hour about just the two of you. I know I have my own specialties, but I really feel people should know that we're not talking from a philosophical concept. We're being asked, each one of us in our own ways, to be breaking the limits of what we feel is possible all the time. And I will just finish by quoting Moini Didi. You know, I've been, Sister Bhumi will know how much I've been asking Sister Mohini so many questions. We all ask her a question every night, and I have the chance to do it every Saturday. And very often my questions are actually a little complaint hidden, saying, so many, it's too much. How can we, why do we, how are we expected to do more? I can't, I'm tired, it's too much. And Sister Moini keeps saying to us, don't think that the load of request upon you will reduce. Don't think you're going to have to do less. You will have to do more and much more. But what you need is to pay attention to increase your capacity. And she keeps insisting that our capacity is unlimited. And if we tap on that unlimited capacity, we will never feel that anything is a burden. So I've been holding that in mind because it's true. I keep wanting my agenda to be empty, but it's the opposite. It gets more and more full all the time. So I always remember Moini Didi's advice: work on your capacity. Don't worry about what will happen, but work on your capacity. So that would be my personal initial thought on this unlimited aspect. Bhumi ji,
Sister
you're
Bhumika, you
listening.
want to start?
Are you able to be with us right now and make abstraction of everything around you? I know where she is, and I know we have a little square, on Zoom. I don't know where she is, and there must be all kind of things happening, and she's pretending nothing is happening. I'm focusing. Leave me alone. We know you.
Oh, Shanti. Thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to greet everyone. Happy New Year. It's a very special year. And thank you for all these blessings which I'm getting from all of you and encouraging words. It's really, really appreciated. It's my honor. And I'm very pleased that I can make it. And I'm here with all of you. It's beautiful moments together. And thank you once again, Eric Bhai, all those, you made me laugh. So thank you. Jenaben, thank you for you too, and the whole team. Your question that when I thought about unlimited, the first thought came in my mind is actually before knowing myself, I didn't know that I can be unlimited. But when I came to know myself and God, that's where I understood that yes, God is unlimited, but not only God is unlimited, but He also gives me my recognition that I am also unlimited like Him. So there are many aspects about this because it's a very deep, thoughtful topic and value. Generally, we can see on outside level that yes, how much we can do, and that could be a vast area. But also for me, when I opened my heart as being unlimited, I experienced so many things so naturally. I can give you an example like, yes, I am this child of God, and everyone is children. Everyone in the whole world, they all are children of God. So just having that thought itself, it just opened my heart for everyone. And it became so easy to accept everyone. It became so easy to use my inner qualities in interaction with everyone. And it automatically, somewhere it gave me that power, courage, or in my whole day-to-day actions, interactions. It's so beautiful. It became so beautiful. So being unlimited, it's amazing. That value itself is so amazing. And when I think about, sometimes it happens that certain things we don't like about people, certain situations are very difficult to handle. But at that moment, if I pause myself and think about myself as I'm unlimited, in a second, everything changes. My heart opens, my vision becomes more unlimited, and it's easy to accommodate everyone's whatever behaviors or attitudes or anything, even for my own self. Like sometimes it could happen that I become limited because of whatever reason. But just having this thought, God is unlimited, I'm also his child, unlimited, it just open up my heart. And then when it comes into practical, because these are thoughts and feelings in my heart, when that opens up, then practically whatever is happening, it's becomes easy. So when you ask Brother Eric, how do I handle, actually I don't count. So if I start to count, I guess it becomes difficult, right? So when I remind myself time to time that this is my family, so just having that thought, my family, I become unlimited for everyone and for myself.
It's such a great virtue, isn't it? It is, it makes you really reflect on your life if you're living it to its fullest potential. Like you were saying, Eric, Sister Mohini, sharing about capacity. Pay attention that your capacity is expanding. I want to come from a context of first limited and then go into the unlimited, if you won't mind. Being raised in America, I want to come from a standpoint. I came over to America when I was 4 years old, and I've been here for over 5 decades. And when you're raised in this culture, so to speak, you are trained, what you see, what you hear. You can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. The only limits will be placed on you if you don't think it. I always remember that growing up. I just want to kind of mention that to all the other countries that are watching. I don't know if your country had that sort of tenant in the schools with your mother, your father, your aunties, your uncles, your grandma, your grandpas. There was nothing that we were told we cannot do. So when you think about that as you're growing, that seed is there. And then there's another seed of limitations. You are a man, you're a woman, you're half Black, half Indian, you are this age, you do this, you come from this is your religion. And a part of you plays that role because the world says this is you. They put you in a box. But you remembered those days of innocence when you were told there was nothing you can't do. So you have this tug of war in you. You call it like a push and a pull. The pull is trying to raise you up, and the push is trying to push you back. The push is saying, no, you're only a woman. You're only this. You're only that. And the pull is something connected very deeply to God and the drama of life. And the pull has this vision about who you really are. And the vision isn't always about what you do, but it's similar to what you were sharing, Brother Eric. When you look at what God's love, God's energy does through Sister Bhumika in producing those Avyak Parivar shows, I know what it takes to produce shows. You know what it takes to produce shows. That when you step into an arena of a production of an international global show. And then you are given a part by the universe, by drama, child from God. You will take care of my very special child who I need healthy and well to take care of the rest of my children. Do you get it? She's like, okay. And then she's got her own self, whatever that is, and her friends and family, and all of it is wrapped up in that. She is not only in her unlimited, but expanding it. And Eric, thank you for the way you introduced me. I felt like you see me. It's very rare somebody can define an anomaly of a mold, a figure that there aren't many copies of that kind. And the fact that for me, when I look at the unlimited, and I'm talking to all of you today, what has made me as a soul, God's instrument, keep going? I don't listen to people's limits. This is a big one. People by nature will tell you you're only supposed to do that much. But there's something else in you that is pulling you. Remember that diagram, the pull and the push. The push is holding you back. The pull is making you thrive. And I think it's for when Brother Eric, everyone, and Sister Bhumika, there is something very mystical and powerful about the first lesson of the Brahma Kumaris. Consider yourself a soul. You are a soul playing a part in this body. You're not the body, but the soul. That immediately made you unlimited in the way you looked at yourself in the mirror. So in very simplistic language, I'm trying to communicate to you. When you're living a life of the unlimited, I feel it comes from one question that I will ask myself if I'm ever in an uncomfortable position, or if I'm having a situation with someone, or even with myself. I'll go to God. I call God Baba. I say, Baba, what does love want me to do? And every time I ask that question, my heart melts and I step into the unlimited. So when I look at this value of unlimited, I look at it in context that everyone has this energy in them if they could only serve it more. If they could only serve it more. I've been practicing to reduce attachments, and it's something in our advanced teachings of the Brahma Kumaris. I've defined it. Practice loving everybody the same, and you'll see that your attachments are reducing and only love is left. So for Eric, I want to throw a question out to both of you now, because for those of you who are watching, Brother Eric has been very closely connected to Didi, who is the spiritual mentor. I call her the spiritual mentor of the Brahma Kumaris at this time. Sister Bhumi, coming from a small town in Gujarat, ends up coming to the United States, being with the same instrument, Sister Mohini, who we call Didi Mohini, the right arm, the person who keeps her going. Both of you have a very deep role with this soul. And this soul's presence and life has shown you how to live in an unlimited way. Is there one thing that stands out for you now that you can share with us that made you remember the power of the unlimited by being in her company or talking with her?
I think Bhumi would have many, 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 many examples.
Well, just one.
Because she's been, Bhumi Ji comes from maybe, I didn't know, that small town in Gujarat. I come from a small town in France. And there must be, I was also in the countryside where things are extremely limited. Very small town thinking, mentality, don't change anything, don't make any changes. So I can relate to that. But I'm sure, Bhumiji, you must have many situations where Sister Moini really takes us into the unlimited with just a few. I'm curious to hear from Bhumiji first.
You go ahead first.
Well, to me, I really feel that I'm glad you introduced this idea of limited also, Janaben. I share that personally with Moini Didi, that I find that every time I feel I'm stuck means I'm feeling a certain pressure or a certain limitation or certain, something is a bit unpleasant usually, and I have to go to Moini Didi and say, this is happening. She always makes me see things in such a way that it expands the power of the virtues, what we call the virtues. So either being my ability to love, my ability to be detached, my ability to be generous. I think she really sees which virtue to use and to push the button saying, you have to expand that one. And sometimes in our limitation, we see the limitation of myself, of the situation. And it takes sometimes for me, souls like Moini Didi, to articulate truth in such a way that I see beyond my limitation. And I see what she says, we could be like this. Someone is doing wrong, someone is making big mistakes. I can still respond by seeing goodness in them. I can respond by being very patient, very humble, very forgiving. She makes me see that, which is beyond the border of my limit. And I find that for me, the unlimited is connected to breaking my ego. When I was thinking about the topic earlier, I thought there's only one thing that limits my life, and it's my ego. Nothing else. It's not anger. There are consequences, but the only limit is ego. And if we have time, I'll tell you a beautiful story later about a seagull who wanted to fly very, very, very high at a very high speed. And I'll tell you what happened to that seagull if we have time. It's called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. You may know the story. But first, Bhumiji, your encounter with Miss Unlimited World, Moini Didi, can have a new title, Miss Unlimited World. Curious to
Yes.
know.
It's a beautiful question. And yes, it's going to be 22 years I'm being with Didi. So in this whole journey being with her, I have never seen a person like her, especially about your question, how she is very unlimited naturally. Two qualities of hers is love and care. I have seen her having love and care for each and every one. Doesn't matter if that person is on a high position or a small, whatever task or role that person is playing. But for her, her love and care is same, unlimited for everyone. Now here, love and care, not on just a superficial way, like, okay, you care for somebody, food, what that person needs, that physical needs, that she does take care, of course, and have expressed her love also. But taking care of everyone's feelings, I have seen her doing that practically so much naturally every day. And I have learned that from her. And not only just taking care of feelings of others, but taking care of feelings of herself means that she never ever takes sorrow from anyone. And even her story, when I heard whatever incidents from her childhood, whatever she used to share, she always said that I don't like sorrow. Of course, we don't like sorrow also, but it's so natural for us to take sorrow from others, for little things. But for her, it's so natural that she doesn't take sorrow from anybody. And that's why when she's taking care of her feelings, That's why she's able to take care of everyone's feelings. And I think that's the biggest, what you can say, elevated action or divine, whatever. But it's amazing that to do that for others, it's really unlimited. I don't think so everyone can do on that level, which I have seen her doing it. And that's why when we see her physically, we feel all these different virtues and qualities in her. That's what from my experience I can share in essence.
It's beautiful, beautiful. A question that I have for both of you, and maybe you can throw it back on me too. There are certain moments in your life where, like Eric was saying, you don't think you can anymore. It could be something as simple as, oh, I have to wake up at this time again. I don't feel like doing it. Or it's that simple. Like you have to be somewhere at 1, but can somebody else cover my 1? I just can't. Or there's a moment in your life where you are tested and you're pushed to the point that at that moment you don't have it in you. What have you turned to get that out of you so you move forward into the unlimited?
We'll both answer similar ways, I'm sure, Bhumiji, but to me, and I do feel, contrary to probably Moinididi or I don't know about you, Bhumiji, but for me, I do feel sometimes, like screaming things, stop it, I can't more, I don't want anything more. I want to unplug my phone and just watch a nice tennis game and leave me alone, leave me alone. But when I'm in that mood, I know I'm not in the proper mood, and but it happens. And when it happens, to be honest, this is the time when I realize that I cannot be bigger, better without my connection with the Supreme, with God. I just can't do it. It's like if I'm unwell physically, and like at the moment I have a problem with my knee, I can't fix it. I need a doctor. I need someone to. The plumber is calling. We have big problems with plumbing. So I need help. If if we have a problem with the water, I need a plumber. So I know that when I'm stuck a little bit or feel, uneasy with myself, with the world, that's when I really, really, really appreciate my connection with God. And just taking a moment to tell God, not to complain. I used to go the wrong way to God, with the list of requests and prayers and complaints. Doesn't really, we call it very devotional feeling, but it doesn't work the same way as going there with the right. This is my dad, this is my teacher, this is my best friend, this is my beloved. I can take, I have rights over that soul. And I need help. I need to be, and it's not help in a sense, please do it for me. It's more help like, please be with me. And I want to be with you. And then when I'm with you, I feel I'm regenerating my energy. And everything that seems a problem suddenly feels, okay, it's not a problem. And I'll close, but it will go to Bhumiji naturally. And I know we talked, and strangely enough, we talked a lot about Moinididi. People may want to see a picture of her by the end of the talk. Who is this Moinididi? So, but yeah, she has such an impact in my life. And I know when I met her a long time ago, same when I met the seniors, I honestly came the first time to Moinididi with a list of questions. I was fairly young in the Brahma Kumaris. I was running center. I didn't know what to do most of the time. So I had a list of questions. And I remember being in Queens at the time and then waiting a little bit nervously for the general director to walk in. And Moinididi walked in and I was very young, a little bit impressed. She sat and she smiled. And what she said, Bhumi, it's so true. The love and care, you could feel it right away. And she said, yes. And just her energy came in the room. And she said, yes, what are your questions? And I was looking at my paper. And as I was reading, the first question in my mind was, oh, no, that is so silly. That's not a question. Oh, no, this is not a problem. And I was going through being nervous, thinking, I don't see any question anymore. And I told her I had many questions. Honestly, I told her, I don't know. It seems, I don't know, something happened on my paper. These questions are
So the
silly.
love removed it.
They
The
just,
love removed it.
they went away. And I find that when I connect with God, it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
God looks at you and says, what is your problem, child? And if you really look at God, you will say, me a problem? I don't know, it's gone. It must have been gone somewhere, but you don't have problem anymore. So God's company, God's presence, to me, I know is the only solution. There's no, I haven't found, even Moni Didi is great, but I can't have access to her 24 hours 7. But God, I can. If Moini Didi could answer me 24/7, maybe Bhumi, we can arrange that. I don't need God, but now I still need God.
You know, I have to tell you, like sometimes when I look at the younger generation, and maybe the adults are doing it, and I see how they waste a lot of time on social media, on their phones, but they're not creating or developing. And I wonder how come sometimes we step into an unlimited mentality in something limited. Like we believe in something small, something that isn't of benefit for the soul, and we can really put a lot of thought in it, but it's not getting you anywhere. It's just taking everything from you. And I think I want to go back to the question and even hear what Sister Bhumika is saying, that was there a moment ever where, whether when before you came to New York, during New York, where something was more than what you could handle, and you kind of thought to yourself, wait a minute, you got a little bit, I don't know how to do this. What pulled you out of that? What method did you use to take you out of the limited into the unlimited?
Yes, there were many moments like that actually.
Mm,
Many times it happened to me. But at that time, I generally pause myself actually. I talk to myself because I really had to talk to and sort out what is going on inside of me. So first thing, I give myself courage. I tell myself, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Wherever you can go, whatever extent you can go, just go. Whatever energy you had to put in, just put in. So that's how I encourage myself. And what I tell myself that by doing what you are doing, it will benefit many souls. So even though if I had to make little more extra effort, but after all, I'm going to get lots of blessings from everyone. And that makes me more, it makes me out of that little, limits. And also I looked at, of course, Didi is always with me, so she's the great example. But always I look at all our senior dadis and of course Brahma Baba's life, what we have heard, haven't seen, but heard his life's story. And I just think about him. And of course, Shiv Baba is our father, Supreme Soul, God. So his qualities are being seen through these instruments where I can easily connect to God and how God wants me to be in my actions and in my task. So that's how I take 2 minutes for myself, and then it helped me 99%. And I did come out of it. And of course, there was a lot of contribution from Mohini Didi's side also, because there were so many things which were never said in words, but she understood me very well. So from just looking at me, she understands. But she helps me incognito way. Like she gives me sakash, she sends me good wishes and I can feel her sakash and good wishes. And that's where I feel thank you. Yes, she helped me to get out of it. So there could be many things to share, but for now, that's all I can.
No, I
in
love that
essence.
answer. I love that answer because the place that we all go first is inside. Like, what's going on? What are you feeling? What are you going through? And that connection that the soul has with that divine energy, that light, that comes in as a power to give us that strength to believe. And I think maybe the world doesn't know this, and maybe you'll know now, but for many of the Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris students and teachers, I feel we're surrounded by such an overwhelming amount of good people. And they're not just good people, but they're also very powerful people. And still, you enter into a period, a moment where you step out of the unlimited into the limited, you know? And I want to raise this question for us when it comes on to matters of the world. Maybe you don't feel this still, but even till today, it might be a Pisces thing, Bhumika, I don't know if you're born in the month of March, but I cannot manage witnessing suffering in people. And whenever I see it and I feel it, I know I've gone into something limited. I can't help anybody if I'm seeing their suffering. This virtue or value of the unlimited can help to pacify the suffering of people, because you mentioned about Sister Mini does not like suffering. She doesn't believe in it. Sometimes you see it in others, and you have to step into the unlimited in order to help another person who's not doing so well. Could you share with our audience and friends today, what thoughts would you have to help a loved one who is trapped in the limited? And you know what the unlimited can do if they were to come out of it. What state of consciousness do you create to that person? What do you offer that person advice to get out of that limited condition? Does the question make sense?
Bhumiji, yeah, go ahead, Bhumiji. We love to listen to you. We haven't had a chance to listen to you often, so it's good. We take advantage.
For me, like when I see somebody and as you're saying, suffering or whatever, of course, there are different scenarios, right? Like inwardly, we can see some people are hungry and stressed and all those things. But in our day-to-day life, the people who are surrounded near us, our relatives and all those friends or whoever. So sometimes it's not they're hungry or they're stressed or anything like that. But time to time, you might feel that they need some kind of support, cooperation, right? And so both scenarios, like if I see people around me, how do I help them is my one thought, because first, before I help outside, I need to create this powerful thought inside of me, looking at that particular soul. And when I see that soul, first thought about their good quality, like what I have experienced from that person. Why I am doing that? Because that soul is going through something, even though that soul has many specialities and good things in their life. But at that time, they are not thinking that. But when I am creating that thought helps create thoughts in them also. Like it's like a contagious type of thing. It makes atmosphere, it's vibrations, right? So the first help I would like to do is create such a powerful thoughts, not only for myself, but for that soul, right? So for example, like I know all of you also for years, right? So I may not have lived with all of you. I have met you time to time. But I have kept in my memory somewhere for particular soul, great value of that person. I can say for Janab and for you, I have never seen your face down, like I always seen you in a same state of mind, which I always admire, and I always feel that that's a unique speciality and the service you are doing, the way you are doing it. So maybe I don't say it in word, but I keep in my memory track somewhere for you that quality. I hold on to that quality for you. So whenever I see you, first thought I create from that quality for you. Eric Bhai is such a great brother for me. From day one, the way he respected me, the way he talked to me, I feel so elevated. So whenever I think about him, I bring that quality in my thought. So that way I do with everybody who are around me. Now thinking about the souls whom I don't know in the world. So in that unlimited way, I have to create my innate qualities, like as I have innate quality of love and peace. So it's not only I am peaceful and loveful. All the souls in the world, they are also loveful and peaceful. So I am repeating that thought in myself, that as I am, they are. So when I'm seeing myself, I'm seeing them. And when I'm creating those thoughts within myself, I think I'm really helping them. And then after all, physically, whatever way I can help, that would be great. But this is what I can say from my side.
Very nice, very nice. You know, again, it really starts with inside, that unlimited nature. But Eric, are you feeling it as well as Sister Bhumika? Everything connected to Behad, which is the Hindi word for unlimited, comes from a place of good feelings, love, kindness. Like Sister Bhumika was sharing, I carve a place in my heart about what's good about a person that keeps me in an unlimited relationship with them. I mean, it's connected very deeply to love, being unlimited, isn't it?
Yeah, the only thing is sometimes that love is not available. In a sense, like you want to love them, but they are not easy to love on that moment, on that day. So I need extra twists, to generate. Because if love is not authentic, it just doesn't work. And like Bhumiji was sharing, it's you have to see something that is lovable. So otherwise, you're creating love, which is maybe artificial love. Maybe they haven't created it yet, but we have artificial intelligence. I hope they are not going to create artificial love, which is probably what they're using anyway. But to me, there are two things. In Hindi, they say there's a word called nimit, right? Which means you're the instrument. You're not really doing, but you're just being used as an instrument. And I always feel if I'm nimit, then no limit. But if I'm no nimit, there are limits. So if I feel I'm doing it, it will be limited. But if I feel, all right, I'm being used, then it's unlimited. We have this practice of looking at each other in soul consciousness, and it's a beautiful practice. We call it drishti. And often in my role, then I'm sitting and we look at everyone and we see the soul and you have good feeling. And to be honest, sometimes I have good feelings, but it's limited. And what I do, it's a little trick I'm using, and maybe I checked with Moni Didi. She said it's okay sometimes. But what I do is that I invoke another soul that I love very, very much, and her name is Dadi Prakashmani. She passed away many years ago, but she's not away. She's still vibrant, I think, somehow. And sometimes I'm sitting here and I invoke Daddy Prakashmani as if she's always had on my left, and Brahma, our founder, is on my right. And sometimes I say to both of them, how about you give drishti? I'm here. I'm the body is there. And I imagine Daddy Prakashmani's eyes. And I remember, I guess, the beauty of being in front of her. And sometimes the beauty of taking drishti from our founder, Brahma. So when he's channeling God's energy. And Daddy was also channeling God's energy. So I remember those two sometimes, but Daddy Prakashmani a lot. And I imagine her eyes, just giving love to everyone. And I don't exaggerate. I was on a retreat recently, and I did that almost every time. I was always feeling Daddy G is with me, and she's helping me, to give drishti. By the way, I ask her also to help me when I'm playing tennis, and she's very good. She can really help me playing tennis. And then the retreat, 3 days. Every time I would be sitting in front, and I was sitting in front all the time, I felt Daddy G was there. 2 people came to me in the retreat, and I didn't talk much about her, Daddy Prakashmani. 2 people came and say, Eric, it's funny when you sit, I really feel Daddy Prakashmani's presence. And I said, what? 2 people told me that. So I feel that, yes, my love is there, but I can invoke God's energy in different ways to be present. So when we're instrument, I think we break the limits of what I can do by myself. And when I see people being so limited in their own ways, I remember I was like that too. And I'm still sometimes limited. But I use that energy, either being directly from God or from my seniors that I love very much. But I tell people the story of, and I'll tell it to you very briefly, that amazing seagull, because it's one of the most popular story in the Western world, and it exists in all languages. And that seagull was watching all the other seagulls fighting for garbage. They are in the dumps and they all fight for food. And he said, this is not the life of a bird. So he was going very high and trying to fly at 200 kilometers an hour. And he made mistakes and hurt himself. And then his flock, the other seagull, thought, you're crazy. What are you doing? Why do you want to fly so high, so fast? You're not an eagle. So he ended up being outcast from his flock. And one day he's so discouraged because he wants to go very, very high. So he flies high in the sky and he says, I'm going to fly high until I die. I disappear. I saw that movie when I was a few weeks in Raj Yoga, and I was so excited in the theater because I thought, I'm that seagull. And the seagull goes in the sky, and at some point the sky becomes exactly like what's behind Bhumiji at the moment, golden red. And he becomes a bird of light, white light. And I screamed in the theater and people said, shh. And I said, oh, this is like Raj Yoga. And it said, shh, quiet. And I thought, this is what we're told. Become an angel of light in the world of light. And so he's flying as light. And suddenly he hears a voice. Hello, Jonathan. I say, oh, who are you? And they're all birds of light. And they say, well, we're your brother and sisters. Oh, where are you taking me? Well, we'll take you to someone. And then so he meets a very wise bird. And I said, this is Brahma, this is the same story of Raja Yoga. And he meets Brahma or Daddy Janki or Daddy Kumarka or Didi Moini. And he sees this beautiful bird, which is the wise, and they live in some space there. And this wise bird says, what do you want to achieve? Why do you want to fly 200 kilometers an hour? Why not 200? Why not 250? Why not 500? This is limited. And I said, yes, he's right. Why 200 kilometers? And I'm so excited in the theater because to me, this is confirmation. Raja Yoga is true. I'm just a new student. And then the teacher said to him, if you break the chains of your mind, you will break the chains of your body and you can fly at the speed that you want. And at that moment, the bird disappears and reappears somewhere else. So instant, not even 200, but the speed of mind. And I was so excited. So the story for me was about, why do I put limits in my own even dreams? What is beyond limits? And that story of Jonathan Livingston tells everyone, this is you. So after a few weeks, or not even few weeks, few days, I made a little leaflet by hand, with a bird. And I said, Jonathan Livingstone, it's you. Come to the Raj Yoga Center and we'll teach you how to fly. And I went to the theater and gave it to everyone who was coming out from the theater after the next session. So for me, our imagination has no limits. It's up to us to free that potential. And I really believe that my own ego usually make limits in my life. And if I bring God's presence, I feel the most beneficial impact of God's presence is to melt your ego and to bring you into a new awareness of who you are. And instead of being a producer with CBC, it's like Bhumija Ji was saying, I'm God's child. I'm an angel. Well, that's much better on a business card, Eric Larest, angel, sons of God. I may be crucified, but anyway.
It's so beautiful. Thank you, Brother Eric, for that story. I remembered it well. So I think we're moving into that moment, right, Dr. Manoj?
Yeah, I'm sure you have some more time, but we can ask a few questions. Can just give some closing comment on being unlimited, all three of you, and then we'll go in some questions.
I think just in essence, one is that being in the unlimited is such a subtle process, something you grow into. You're born and you're put in a limit, and then you come to God's light and God's world of beauty and the unlimited, and you have to break the chains in your mind to catch that vision that God has of you. And I think the three of us here with you, three of us with all of you, we've been living it. We've been living it. And there's no comparison who is doing the most unlimited. It's personal. But I think what Brother Eric shared, where there's the ego and the attachment, this is your consciousness. And it's not to say that we don't get tested. We will. That's what pushes us. The test will push you. A lot of people aren't aware of, I'm just going to go back to Bhumika Ben, when you are working closely and serving closely with a very important person, on one level, you have to be 10 steps ahead of that person. And that means you have to even think out of the limits that you're accustomed to, even with the person, because each step that the person takes has great weight in it. And so it's an internal thing. And I think maybe for closing, I would be curious to hear from Bhumika Ben about the internal way that the thought process that you use to keep you in the unlimited and to keep your capacity expanding. Like something that you might have touched base with. I'll give you a joke with mine. Sometimes if I have to make a really important decision, don't laugh though when I tell you this. I imagine myself like a really old lady sitting on the veranda in a rocking chair, just no teeth. And I'm just telling my story to everybody around me. When I was 80, I used to do this. And I used to feel like when I would make that decision, whatever decision is a little challenge, I want to be able to make it right, that I could talk about it years ahead. It'll be such an inspiration. when I'm talking to the kids. There's a samyukti, some methods. Brother Eric mentioned seeing the Dadi Prakashmani, a beautiful image that he remembers that reminded him of love, to be able to be in that unlimited. What I've done is to look at the person as a 1-year-old, because they're innocent and pure, and I just can't help it. I have to see the child in them. Different methods we all use to stay connected to God's vision on us. Bhumika Ben, what is yours? What are those thoughts that you have when you're running from a production, a meeting, a packing, a travel, a car, people, food, scheduling, in between? Like, there's something that you're doing inside of yourself. It keeps you really grounded and connected. What is that thought process?
Yes. So first I would like to share that, see, there are two phases in my life. One is when I came into this knowledge, came into Brahma Kumaris. So that's where I was introduced God. I came to know who God is and my relationship with Him. And then I came to know myself. Who am I? He's my father. I'm his child. Now, moving forward, where I have to go is helping him in his unlimited task. Now, he is unlimited father of all the souls. He has come to do his unlimited task, and I am there to help him in his unlimited task. So now, when I'm on this, in this journey in my life where I'm doing what God is doing, I might be a little screw in his big machinery or big task, making the whole new world. But I don't forget that even though I'm doing task of little screw, but that little screw is as important as the whole machine. So I don't forget that if I don't keep myself into that energy, it might affect to the whole God's task. So having that responsibility. So in this, and then other phase is being with Moini Didi, because she is also doing great in her role and being with her. So in both ways, with God and being with his main instrument as Moini Didi. So now in this situation, I mean in this task, when I'm helping them, God and her, of course, is the one task ultimately, because she is also doing for God. But see, when I'm sometimes very busy, where I don't have time to think for myself or for my own feelings, like for example, if I have 10 things ahead of me, doing this, doing this, doing this, doing this, and at that time, if my energy is little low or I am feeling little sad because of any reason, but I don't have time to think about that, right? So what I tell myself, hold on to it, keep it on a side. I will sort out that later with God. So I keep it on a side in the corner for those things at that time. Because if I bring those feelings into my task, it may affect my efficiency, right? And I cannot do it. And it does happen. Like, for example, I'm dealing with 4 or 5 people at the same time. It's not possible to make everyone happy at the same time. It could happen that 1 or 2 souls are not happy with me and reacting. And their reaction could bring different feelings in me, which can make me down. But at that time, what I do, Bhumi, relax, keep them aside, I'll sort them out later. And that's what I do. And after, in the night, when I go in front of Baba, I means Baba, we call our God Baba. So I sit in front of him and then I sort out all that stuff. So 2 things, either, see, I had to bring my feelings in the task, the feelings of goodness, like everyone's speciality, as I mentioned before, right? So that I do. But of course, at the same time, when I have these kind of feelings, which are not useful in the task, I have to keep them aside. And I do sort out with my own time. And of course, you see, many times it happens that the souls who are not happy with me, And in my role, I can tell you truly, there are so many souls who are not happy with me, because the scenario which happens from their perspective, they are right. I didn't favor them, maybe I didn't give them priority. So from looking at from their point of view, I could be seen in that way. But when I'm seeing from my side, I didn't do anything. My intentions were right, good. So I don't feel bad about them, because they are right in their perspective or their view. So it's fine. But I'm also right, they're also right. So I don't bring those bad feelings to overcome me. And whenever this happens, as I said, that in my memory track, I have kept everyone's one very special quality fit in my memory. So whenever these things happen, I bring out that. I can tell you one incident. One time what happened, it was amazing scenario. Sometimes I could not even imagine that this could even happen to me. There was a meeting, means there were a few people gathered, and one of the sister asked Didi that can we have this few people meeting with you separately. Now I didn't request that, somebody else requested that, right? Now Didi said yes. So once Didi said yes, I said okay, then I will make arrangement. I made a time and everyone was sitting. Now at that time what happened, that one of the sister, she came out by the door outside and feeling that why she was not being invited. And somehow the whole thing came on me, because that person thought that I'm the one who called that meeting. I'm the one who invited whoever is in the room. So anyway, I went outside. Others were sitting with Didi having deep conversation and chit chat, and I'm outside. And not only that soul was there, but there were other souls also. So I was just chatting with them, because I thought because they are waiting outside, they also want to come inside after this meeting finish. So let me just have a chat with them. And here this soul taking so much sorrow, just feeling that I'm being so rude. I'm like, supervising that room and not being her entered into this room or meeting. And all these things I came later on, actually. And there was no even chance to clarify, or and I said, it's like without doing anything, somebody's taking so much sorrow from me, and blaming in a way, kind of like, that's how I'm bossy, that's why I don't let person come in front of Devi and all kind of things. But it was so beautiful when I sat down, and I really didn't have any bad feelings for that soul, because what she saw, it was natural for her to think like that, because she didn't know the behind the scene what happened. That's fine. Even she complained to Didi about me, and that's fine too. But then I sat down and I said, let me think about her. And I really thought about her in a very good way. And after a few hours, you could see a big change. Like she came in front of me with such a beautiful smile, and without doing anything. Like there was no conversation between us, but all this happened behind, right? So what I feel that when I have so many experiences like this, after having all these experiences, what is coming next to me in my future or in my present, I am well trained, or what I can say that with the experience, I know what to do. Right? So now I always say to myself, don't react, because you might not know what is the real situation behind it. So let me just stay wherever I am, and let's finish my task, what I had to do. Most important is the task has to accomplished. It's God's task, and whatever I'm helping with, that has to be accomplished in a smooth way and in perfectly. So let it finish, and then I will sort out all those things later. So that helped me a lot. And I truly, sometimes I make many mistakes. I made it many mistakes, and with my words or maybe whatever, Didi always made me realize those. When I go in room, very quietly, she tells me, you cannot do this, you cannot say this. So she gives me teachings, like she corrects me many times. And I take it very lovingly, but then sometimes I do react again. And she smiles, she gives me lots of love and sakash. And then if I have done a big mistake, I sit down and from my heart, I immerse that soul and say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Means I really apologize from my heart. It was not intentionally done, but it did happen. So I had to apologize. Even I put Baba in front of me, God, and also that soul, and I do that. And those things helps me actually, and makes my energy keep going on. So anyway, I can share many things, but if you have a time
No,
limit,
it's
there are
important.
many.
No, it's
But
good.
Geneva, and I know Bhumiji can handle her things very well, and you did very nicely. As your brother, if you need a spiritual lawyer, I'm available anytime. I'll defend you.
And
And
sometimes,
think,
I tell people beforehand, don't think that I'm perfect. If anything happens, please forgive me. So, even sisters who are staying with us, it does happen because there are so many things. I'm very picky about it. Like I need things to be done in certain ways, So that's where I get little, but then I tell them, please forgive me if I have tell you, very harshly or whatever. So, and they are so lovingly accept me. So that's, I really appreciate about them also. Thank you.
well, it's all a journey. And I think when you're moving as fast as you are, you're transforming faster than the rest. Some people have a lot of time on their own, and you're constantly in the move, and something comes in between and it's not connected. No, you don't mean to do it that way, but that's how it comes out. But I think everyone's mature. They know by now your heart is clean and that you're on, an unlimited assignment. I have to tell you, Dr. Manoj and everyone, I didn't know we were going to have a 12 o'clock. We have a full house at the Meditation Museum at 1 o'clock, and I'm at the other center in another state, and I have to run to that meeting pretty soon. So I just wanted to let you all know, if in case I disappear, it's not that I'm going into the limited, but I'm going to go into the unlimited in another way. So thank you all so much for the time and energy. And Bhumika Ben, what a wonderful year to start the year with you, the superstar, and our sweet brother Eric, who just makes all the sisters feel safe and happy. Just it's been a pleasure to be with all of you today, really, and the whole team, and everyone out there too.
Just give us a last word, Jenaben, about your vision of the unlimited when you deal with people who have high potential, and still,
Yeah, all
how do
kinds,
you
all
how do you
kinds of people.
enhance that?
Love.
Mm.
My mother taught me a very valuable lesson. I said goodbye to her in May of 2024. She was my best friend, everything to me. And she always promised me, she'd told me, Jen, promise me one thing when you give your life to God. And she says, please don't see the defects in anyone. And I swear on my life, I've kept my promise to her that I don't see the defects in people. I know we go through challenges. And just like Bhumika Ben said, you hold the goodness in that person. There's something good that God found in that person. And that has been a big, big protection for me, Brother Eric. I've been through challenges with a few people. I was too young. I didn't have enough understanding. I thought I was really wrong or I was bad. And that was just my low self esteem. I was in the limited. But as I deepened my relationship with Baba, with myself, with the people that I live with, and the world at large don't see the defects in anyone, and you will live in the unlimited. Life will just be easy for you. That's my closing statement for the year.
So we'll need to invent new glasses, defect-free.
Yeah.
You don't see.
Defect-free glasses. Maya-free
Remove the
glasses.
defects naturally. Be contact lens. They can invent contact lens.
But
Don't
guys,
allow you
it's
to see
it's
defects.
such a waste of time.
You're right.
It is such a waste of time. And even if I'm on the other end and people are thinking of me in a bad way, and yes, we feel things, we're feeling people, I can't let myself believe in that. I have to see the way God sees me. So I think we have to just keep remembering how powerful this value of the unlimited is. Listen to those who lift you up. Listen to those who see into you, who see your potential, who see your goodness and your capacity. Go inside of yourself and see if you can see what God sees. Feel it and act on it every day. Be consistent, be disciplined. Don't turn back. Keep going and don't let anything stop you. And that's just my sharing of the year. Okay.
Thank you, Jenna G. So you have to fly. We're here.
Okay.
I'll be happy to.
Hi, Gumi. See you soon.
I'll see you very, very soon, Jenna Ben. And thank you for making that trialogue dynamic and entertaining. So it was lovely. All the best in the museum.
If we have a minute, can you take a photo, spiritual photo? We don't want to miss Dana, Ben,
Okay.
and also
Mhm.
Dr. Mehta wanted to say hello. Yeah, so everyone, please open your video so that we can have this memorial moment.
Zoom photo. We're doing everything on Zoom. Huh? Soon we'll be eating in Zoom.
Okay, so everybody has opened their video. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bouquet for the new year, for every moment, for being unlimited. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for actually elaborating so many different aspects of unlimited. So before maybe Sister Jena could go, but it's a question for sisters. So it is about sari. So maybe now Sister Jena is not around. So both Sister Bhumi and you both can address. It's a very practical question. So I think it's a sister who's asking. She says, I love this white sari, beautiful. It's a nice makeup of Brahma Kumaris. I love it with the badge on the blue color badge on that. I want to wear it. I want to become surrendered. So many things she's written. But she says that my intellect is not broad enough or not so open minded enough to make me, it's not going into the unlimited. I really feel very inhibited to go with that in the crowd, in the public. So I think it's a question Sister Bhumi can address very well, because you all have given your life and you all are living that life. So how do we broaden our intellect? And this is just one of the instances which shows that my intellect is still not open-minded or open or broad. So any one of you?
You want to say, Rigmai, or should I go?
Oh, you're wearing the sari, so I'll let you answer. I did wear sari a few times. I don't know if it entitles me to answer, but you have the answer.
Well, from my experience, I can say that it was never an effort for me, because the day when I entered the center and one of the sister center, she was wearing white sari, standing by the door, welcoming us. That moment I never forget. I saw her and I just said, that's what I am. That's what I want to be. And it went so deep inside of me, and I loved the sari. So when I love something, I think there is nothing in compare with that. So I didn't have to make any effort to leave anything, because I love to wear white sari, and that was my dream. And just to let you all know that in 2002, in August, one of the very special day, Raksha Bandhan day, I had a determined thought, the day when I will wear white sari from that day, I will never ever wear any color clothes or not even other type of clothes. And that day I wore the sari first time. And from that day until today, every single day, I wore the white sari.
Is it a
And
different one or the same one that you're wearing?
not same one, but it's the same outfit. I mean, and when I had that thought, it gave me so much power in me and beautiful experiences. So what I can just tell the person who is asking, you don't have to make effort to becoming unlimited. You just be. You just love that quality. You make that your life, and you will see it becomes very natural. You don't have to make effort. Like for example, if you like something physically even, so when you are with that gadget or that person, I'm sure you will forget everything else automatically. You don't have to make effort. So when you love some kind of values or quality or things to do, I think you just be in that and everything else will become easy. That's all I can say.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. But I would give Brother Eric another question. I mean, I'm doing justice to the participants. There are many questions, but I'll just take this as the last one. They're saying that whenever we come to the BKs for meditation, the constant one thing which is told to us in meditation is go in the unlimited, go beyond. So can you please answer, Brother Eric, what is this unlimited and beyond in meditation?
Well, the basic practice, is to understand how the soul, the being, is different from the body, which is a human. So we are called human being, but we have become very, very human with a little being, and the being has become a little bit vague. And I have a soul, I'm a soul, somebody may have my soul, I may have someone else. It's very confusing. So in meditation, the basic thing is, how can we dissociate the being from the human and focus a little bit more on the being and not so much on the human? So what we do is that we learn to feel the soul right here in the center of the forehead as the driver of the body. And we learn by detaching from the body, not that we deny or neglect or reject the body. We just feel a little bit of detachment. So when the soul, the being, is not connected exclusively to the human, to the body, it starts to be able to catch something beyond, right? If I'm only listening to my ears, my nose, my eyes, my mouth, this is body consciousness. This is being limited by the information the body is giving me. And of course, I'm putting it into my consciousness, but male body means I'm a man, female body, I'm a woman. When we disconnect from the sense organs slightly, just as you put them to sleep a little bit, then you go beyond the feeling of being a human only. And we reignite the beauty of the being. But the being catches other energies, very subtle energy that are not connected to the senses. And that's why we call it go beyond the body. There are other steps afterwards, but I think this is what we talk about initially. And when the soul feels its own nature, as a human, I know my nature. If you ask me to jump 3 meters high, I know I cannot. My body cannot jump that high. The soul knows what it is, but for that, the soul has to be a little bit disconnected from the stimulation of the senses. And the moment, the best image I got was from one of our yogi. And they say, if you hold a balloon with a thread, the moment you cut the thread, the nature of the balloon is to go with the wind and to go high, but you're holding it back. So the nature of the consciousness is to expand and to go close to God, but we're holding it in our own physical identity. So the moment we cut that identity of just being a human, the soul flies. And that's what we call the unlimited. And then you say, bon voyage, because you go off, don't keep your seatbelt on, take it out, and enjoy the flight.
Fantastic, wonderful, spot on answer. So now we are really running out of time. We're past our time, but I know there are many
No, we're
meetings which you all have.
unlimited. Manoj Bhai, we're unlimited. What is this? We're running out of time. We have all the time in the world.
No, but
We're
I'm sure Sister
unlimited.
Claudia
I'll
they have to
expand.
attend. Yeah, with Moini Didi, I think I'll have some meetings in a few minutes from now. I guess, maybe. It's okay, but I think we have time for the vote of thanks and the meditation and everything, which we always do. So next 10 minutes, we should be able to do that. So if I can request now our seniors, we have actually many seniors from the United States of America. Quite a few sisters are online as well. I'll take their name later if they're on their video cameras. So at the moment, it's Sister Claudia and Dr. Ashok Mehta. So over to you, Dr. Mehta, first for the vote of thanks.
Om Shanti. I enjoyed the dialogue between three of you. It's beautiful. But it was something that really struck me is what the brother said, that is ego which limits myself. I think all of us will know that we have a limitation of the physical body. If you want to have a higher consciousness, something we are tied down. And this is Baba's knowledge that we have been practicing Raj Yoga for so long. Another thing I liked about that, if I say I'm doing something, I'm limiting myself. I'm being used by him. My limits are gone. So I think that is another beautiful thing. And again, I think someone said, you have to be childlike. Go back to this earlier days of your existence. You're absolutely a clean slate. And there you don't have any limits. I think we enjoyed your dialogue and we loved the similarities that we have been listening. Thank you very much. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. I really like to thank both of you and also Sister Gina, of course. And then the other day when I came back I was in Brazil and I came back to the center, was so many little things going on. And one sister said, how can you handle all this? And then I just said, I just have to see whatever needs to be. And then I just go and I let go. I learned from my mom from childhood, just let go, just let go. Don't be too much attached to whatever people are doing. And then like when Sister Bhumi was saying, because I am just a small little sample and she's a big one. And then she was saying, just encourage the self, make the self feel that you have courage to go through this. And also see the quality. I have been trying lots to see the quality of the other one. So that's why when I was answered, the one who was saying, how can you handle this? I say, I just know what the good they are doing. They are now just trying to play like a little child, trying to get something out of the mother. So then that way I just let go and I fly and I don't get too much, because otherwise we just feel discouraged and then we feel the energy is not very good. So I quite like it too. I have been working a lot on this unlimited, just let go, whatever they are doing, that's the way how they are doing, and then work on it. So Bhumi, Bhumi Ben, I really like when you give a little bit more encouragement for us to keep looking. Actually, I look at you, I always think about when I'm going through, I always think about how can she do? I can do as well. I have to at least try. Of course, you have Didi beside you, which is good. I wish I could have Didi beside me, but I just have Didi on the Avyak Parivar when I watch her and then I see how she handles things. So I try my best. But of course, I want to really let go whatever comes and be unlimited. That's my aim. Thank you very much for helping on that.
Thank you, Sister Claudia and Dr. Mehta. And over to Sister Anu for the quick announcements and then the meditation.
Yeah, it's truly unlimited seva that Bhumi sister does, and I wanted to show Didi, as Eric Bhai was saying, we may have to see. Oh, now I'm hung up. Sorry about that.
Should I share it or?
It will come up. So if you can hear me, that I would really love to thank for the practical discussion that came up and the sharing from Bhumi Ben. It's amazing. So this is our very dear Mohini Didi, and she really inspires us unlimited way. I mean, that energy that Bhumi Ben talked about, the good wishes that she feels, I think the whole world is getting that. So can't thank enough for today's session and sharing as well. So very quickly, the announcements. We'll do a silence retreat on being unlimited. That is in 12 hours from now. You can check it out. Sunday, 9 a.m. for India time, and for West Coast, 7:30 p.m. So it's it's based on the BK teachings, but it is open to everyone to join and experience. And we'll do the workshop being unlimited after 1 week with our very beautiful seniors from Brazil. So Sister Luciana, who is the national coordinator of Brahma Kumaris, and we'll have first time Brother Rodrigo from Brazil. So please join us on 11th January, 6:30 a.m. for West Coast time. That's 8 p.m. India time. We'll have exercises followed by insightful talk and meditation by both of them. And the next episode will be 107 on persistency and consistency. After getting the tips to become unlimited, how can we keep it up, being consistent? So for that, we'll have Sister Dipti from South Africa. So it's on after 2 weeks, same time, 19th of January. Please join us then. And you can check us out on our websites as bihasa.in and vancouver.brahmakumaris.ca. And all our videos are on our YouTube, also the playlist, as you can see, including today's video. So thank you, everyone. Can't thank enough for this moment. So maybe we can go for a meditation for a few minutes. Either I can play a song, or maybe Sister Bhumi or Brother Eric can do a commentary, as you just let me know.
Either Bhumi ji, you want to share a few thoughts, or you want me to share a commentary?
You can go ahead.
Well, there's a beautiful way to expand and reach the unlimited with a very simple thought. And if I see myself as a soul, a beautiful being of light, an eternal energy of light, I can visualize my life like a river. I can visualize in the beginning this little stream of water, so pure, coming from the source. And the water flows, engage in a journey through nature, a long journey. But the river grows, it accumulates experiences, meets everyone in life. And from a very small little river, one day I see my life as a beautiful, huge river. But I start to feel and hear the call of the ocean. And whatever seems limited, when I hear the call of the ocean, I know that my destiny is to become like the ocean. And I know there's a time in my life when I will meet, and I do meet, the ocean now. As if the river understands the unlimited nature, a little drop, an infinite ocean, the same nature. And in the awareness of the soul, I feel the presence of the Supreme Soul. And together we dance the unlimited dance of love. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much once again, all of you, all three of you, Brother Eric, Sister Bhumi, and also Sister Jenna, and all of you for participating as well. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Happy New Year, unlimited year.
Thank you so much.
Everyone, thank you, Bhumiji.
Thank
It was
you.
lovely to be with
Thank
you.
Yes, it was
This
very
is the
nice.
Zoom
Thank
dance.
you.
This is a new dance, the Zoom dance.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Om Shanti, everyone. Happy New Year.
Okay.
Thank you, Ashok Mehta. Bye. Always nice to have you here.